Florida is the dream for retirement, but here is the catch. Most people aim for the same big-name cities. Miami, Orlando, and Tampa. Sunshine, yes, but also traffic, sky-high prices, and crowds that make you wonder if the entire East Coast moved in next door. That is the problem. Too many retirees chasing the same few places. But here is the good news. Florida is full of hidden towns that give you the sunshine, the beaches, and the community vibe without draining your savings or your patience. In Part 1, we uncovered 10 of those secret spots, and today we are back with Part 2. We have 10 more towns lined up that prove you do not have to choose between fun and affordability. These are places where you can still find homes that make sense, mornings that actually feel calm, and neighbors who wave because they know you, not because they are stuck in traffic next to you. So grab a cold drink and settle in, because by the end of this video you will have 10 new Florida retirement havens to dream about, and maybe even to call home. 1. Ocala. Ocala rarely makes the retirement spotlight, but maybe that is the trick. This is horse country, where green pastures stretch for miles, oak trees hang heavy with moss, and you half expect a cowboy hat to be part of the dress code. Around here, rush hour usually means waiting behind a horse trailer, which is still less stressful than waiting behind 3 lanes of brake lights in Orlando. The lifestyle is unhurried in the best way. Downtown mixes old brick buildings with diners, coffee shops, and restaurants where no one cares if you linger over pie for an hour. Retirees find it easy to plug in, whether it is waving to neighbors on wide porches or showing up at seasonal parades where floats are sometimes pulled by actual horses. It is the kind of town where you can lose count of how many people said hello before you finished breakfast. Affordability is another reason retirees quietly flock here. Homes under $350,000 are common, and everyday expenses will not make your budget cry. Eating out is possible without taking out a second mortgage, and gas prices won't send you into a panic. Healthcare is close at hand, so if your back gives out after one too many rounds of golf, you are not driving an hour to fix it. Nature is everywhere. Silver Springs State Park offers glass-bottom boat rides, where you look down and see fish swimming under your feet while you try not to imagine dropping your phone. Trails cut through shady forests, golf courses keep you swinging, and lakes invite lazy afternoons with a fishing pole. And when you miss the beach, both coasts are about an hour away. Close enough for a day trip, far enough that tourists do not invade your driveway. Culture brings a curveball. The Appleton Museum of Art looks like it was dropped straight out of Europe, filled with sculptures and paintings that feel miles away from barns and saddles. You come in expecting local crafts and leave bragging about Renaissance masters. For a mid-sized city, it is a surprisingly classy twist. The only drawback? Horses are everywhere. Even if you do not care about them, someone will eventually tell you more than you ever wanted to know about trot styles. But with green space, affordability, and mornings that actually feel calm, Ocala proves retirement can be charming without trying too hard. 2. Lakeland. Lakeland does not usually grab headlines, but for retirees it is like finding the middle seat on a plane with no one on either side. Comfortable and surprisingly rare. The name gives it away. This is a city of lakes, more than 30 of them. So you are never far from water views or the sound of ducks holding heated debates about breadcrumbs. It is calmer than Tampa or Orlando, but you still get the perks of a mid-sized city. Life here runs at a friendly pace. Downtown has old brick storefronts, coffee shops, and restaurants where retirees blend right in with college kids. Locals take pride in the Swan City nickname thanks to birds gifted from England decades ago. People take the swans very seriously, almost like feathery royalty, so be careful not to confuse one with a goose unless you want stern looks from strangers. Retirees quickly fit in, whether it is walking loops around the lakes or people watching while sipping sweet tea. Affordability makes it even better. Homes under $350,000 are still out there, and daily costs do not feel like a financial booby trap. Eating out is affordable, and gas prices are reasonable, which means your budget is free for hobbies or spoiling the grandkids. Healthcare is available right in town, so if your knee decides to protest after one too many laps around Lake Hollingsworth, you will not need to call for a rescue helicopter. Nature takes center stage. With all those lakes, you can fish, kayak, or just sit on a bench while pretending you are a wildlife documentary narrator. Golf courses are everywhere, and the city is perfectly placed between Tampa and Orlando. That means beaches, pro sports, and even theme parks are easy day trips. Grandkids think you are the coolest when you live within an hour of roller coasters, even if you secretly never set foot on one. Culture sneaks in through festivals, art exhibits, and concerts that keep things lively. Retirees often find themselves at vintage car shows or food festivals, secretly competing over who has the best funnel cake strategy. It is not highbrow, but it keeps the calendar fun. The only drawback? With so many lakes, you will probably spend more time dodging aggressive geese than actual traffic. But if you want affordable living, calm mornings, and swans that get more respect than local politicians, Lakeland is one of Florida's best-kept retirement havens. 3. Palm Coast. Palm Coast often gets overlooked, which is surprising for a city with palm in the name. Retire here, and you will quickly realize it is less about glitzy resorts and more about quiet neighborhoods, canals winding between houses, and sunsets that make you forget whatever errands you did not finish. It feels like Florida slowed down a little just for you, but without the boredom. Life here is built around the water. The Intracoastal Waterway runs through town, and many neighborhoods have canals where people park boats like they are oversized cars. Retirees spend mornings walking or biking along shaded trails, and afternoons chatting with neighbors who always seem to be either fixing a boat or bragging about a catch. You will hear more fish stories here than weather reports, and most of them get more dramatic every retelling. Affordability is another perk. Houses are often less expensive than what you would find further south, and everyday costs do not make you regret ordering dessert. It is possible to find a nice home without needing to win the lottery or sell your golf cart collection. Healthcare is close by, which comes in handy when you realize paddleboarding looks easier on YouTube than in real life. Nature is where Palm Coast shines. There are over 100 miles of trails, and Washington Oaks Gardens State Park has massive oak trees and formal gardens that feel straight out of a movie. The beaches are quieter than the packed tourist spots further south, and you can actually hear the waves instead of just kids demanding ice cream. Summers are hot, sure, but ocean breezes make it more bearable than you would expect. Culture is growing here too. Small theaters, art galleries, and community concerts pop up often, giving retirees plenty of ways to stay busy without long drives. Do not be surprised if a neighbor ropes you into their choir or a local play. Suddenly you are dressed as a tree on stage, wondering how this became part of your retirement plan. And when you do want more action, St. Augustine and Deltona are short drives away, offering history or racing depending on your mood. The only downside? Palm Coast can be so calm that sometimes the most exciting headline is about a new restaurant opening. But for retirees looking for affordable homes, quiet beaches, and evenings where the loudest thing is a heron squawking in the distance, Palm Coast is exactly the kind of hidden Florida haven worth considering. 4. Palm Bay. Palm Bay sits on Florida's Space Coast, and yes, that means rockets sometimes light up the sky like your personal fireworks show. Retire here and you get the calm of a suburban community with the bonus of watching launches from your backyard. It is not every day you can sip morning coffee and casually say, "Oh look, there goes another spaceship." The lifestyle is easygoing. Palm Bay is spread out, with quiet neighborhoods, shopping areas, and plenty of parks. Retirees spend mornings walking shaded trails, afternoons at community gatherings, and evenings chatting with neighbors on porches, where the biggest debate is who grills the best burgers. You will not feel lost in the crowd here, and newcomers are welcomed like old friends, sometimes with way too much banana bread. Affordability is a strong point. Houses are more reasonably priced than in many coastal cities, and day-to-day costs are manageable. Retirees like knowing they can enjoy dinner out without calculating if it means canceling Netflix. Healthcare is close by with clinics and hospitals in town, so if you pull a muscle trying out pickleball's replacement, let's say overly ambitious shuffleboard, you are still covered. Nature plays a starring role. Turkey Creek Sanctuary offers boardwalks through shady forests where you can spot manatees, turtles, and the occasional gator that looks far too smug. Beaches are just minutes away, giving you the option of a calm walk on the sand or watching surfers wipe out while you relax in a beach chair. And since Orlando is only about an hour away, the grandkids will think you live in paradise when they visit. Culture here has a casual, community-driven feel. There are small theaters, art shows, and festivals that keep the calendar full without overwhelming you. Retirees often discover quirky local traditions, like fishing tournaments where the stories get bigger than the actual fish. It is not Miami glamour, but it is fun, friendly, and easy to enjoy. The only downside? Palm Bay is spread out, so driving is part of the routine. You may find yourself measuring time in how many traffic lights away something is. Still, with affordable homes, rocket launches, and beaches close enough to visit anytime, Palm Bay offers retirees a hidden Florida haven with a front-row seat to the sky. 5. Port St. Lucie. Port St. Lucie used to fly under the radar, but lately retirees have started noticing it as a place where life feels comfortable without being overpriced. It sits on the Treasure Coast, which sounds like something out of a pirate movie, but here the treasure is affordable homes and quiet neighborhoods instead of buried gold. The city has grown quickly, yet it still keeps a laid-back vibe that works well for retirement. The lifestyle is relaxed but never dull. Retirees spend mornings walking trails along the St. Lucie River, afternoons at golf courses, and evenings chatting with neighbors who always seem to know what new restaurant just opened. You will not feel like an outsider for long, since this is the kind of city where people say hello even if they do not know you. And yes, golf is popular here, but so is just sitting on the porch watching lizards sprint across the sidewalk. Costs are a major selling point. Homes are more affordable than in many coastal cities, and everyday expenses will not shock you. Retirees like knowing they can order dessert without checking their budget app, and the variety of housing means there is something for most tastes. Healthcare is solid with local hospitals and clinics, so you are not planning road trips for routine appointments. Nature is everywhere. The St. Lucie River winds through town, and the beaches are close enough for a quick visit without the constant tourist chaos. Kayaking and fishing are everyday activities, and the Savannah's Preserve State Park offers trails through wetlands that feel a world away from traffic lights. When the grandkids visit, you can impress them with dolphin sightings instead of theme park tickets. Culture here is low-key but growing. The city has community theaters, art shows, and local festivals where retirees often get roped into helping out. Suddenly, you are selling raffle tickets like you have been doing it for years. Dining is varied, from casual seafood spots to newer restaurants that try very hard to convince you their burger is life-changing. It is not flashy, but it is satisfying. The only downside? Port St. Lucie is growing fast, so construction zones are part of the scenery. But with affordable living, a friendly community, and a riverfront lifestyle, it is easy to see why retirees keep picking this hidden Florida haven over more crowded options. 6. Northport. Northport is one of those Florida cities people usually speed past on their way to Sarasota or Fort Myers, not realizing retirees are quietly snapping up the best porches and shady backyards. It does not have the flashy reputation of its neighbors, but that is the whole point. Instead of crowded beaches and sticker shock prices, you get calm neighborhoods, open space, and a slower rhythm that feels like Florida on easy mode. Day-to-day life is relaxed in the best way. Retirees start mornings on walking trails, spend afternoons swapping stories with neighbors, and end evenings grilling outside when the weather cooperates. Which, let's be honest, is most of the year. This is the sort of place where people start talking to you, even if they have no clue who you are. Before long, you will be doing the same thing. Affordability is a big perk. Homes here cost less than in nearby coastal towns, so you can find something comfortable without pawning off your collectibles. Everyday expenses are manageable too, so saying yes to dinner out or adding dessert feels normal, not reckless. Healthcare is nearby, with Sarasota's larger hospitals just up the road if you need more than a quick checkup. Nature is the headline act. Warm mineral springs is a local favorite, and some people swear the waters have healing powers. Even if they don't, floating in a warm pool while the Florida sun shines feels like medicine enough. Parks, golf courses, and canals keep retirees moving, while beaches sit just a short drive away. Culture is casual but fun. Community theaters, local concerts, and art shows pop up often, giving you plenty of options without overwhelming the calendar. Retirees end up in quirky neighborhood events too, like talent shows where the highlight might be a harmonica solo that somehow lasts 20 minutes. It is lighthearted and easy to join in. The only real downside? Northport is spread out, so errands sometimes feel like a road trip. But if you can handle a few extra minutes behind the wheel, you get affordable homes, natural springs, and neighbors who wave like you're a celebrity. It is the kind of retirement spot people drive past without realizing you already beat them to it. 7. Deltona. Deltona is the biggest city in Volusia County, but it rarely shows up in flashy travel guides. That works in your favor, because it means retirees can enjoy a slower lifestyle without the price tag of the beach towns nearby. Think of it as living near Daytona's fun without hearing race cars at 3 in the morning. Here, the loudest thing on a Saturday might be someone mowing their lawn. Life here feels suburban in the best sense. Wide streets, quiet neighborhoods, and lakes scattered everywhere make it a comfortable place to settle in. Retirees join walking clubs, neighborhood gatherings, or just enjoy sitting in screened-in porches where geckos provide the free entertainment. Locals are quick with a hello, and before long you will know half your block just from walking the dog. Affordability is a strong selling point. Homes here are usually cheaper than those closer to Orlando, so you can stretch your retirement income further. Groceries, gas, and restaurants are all reasonable, which means you can live a good life with less worries about spendings. Healthcare is available nearby, and bigger hospitals in Orlando are within reach if you need them. That mix of local and big city access keeps things practical. And just like in most of this episode's towns, there is plenty of nature all around. The city is full of lakes and greenways where you can fish, paddle, or just watch herons stalk around. Gemini Springs Park is a local gem, offering shady trails and picnic spots that retirees love. And of course, the Atlantic beaches are only about half an hour away, close enough for a day of sand and surf without actually living in a tourist zone. Culture leans small-scale but enjoyable. Community events, art fairs, and local concerts give retirees something to do without the stress of traffic jams or overpriced tickets. One week you might stumble onto a craft show. The next you are watching a surprisingly decent garage band at a park. It is low-key, but in a way that feels friendly rather than boring. The only downside? Deltona was built with cars in mind, so you will be driving more than you might like. Still, when the trade-off is affordable living, friendly neighbors, and weekends where the big decision is which lake trail to walk, that is not such a bad deal. For retirees, Deltona delivers a calm lifestyle with just enough activity to keep it interesting. 8. Sanford. Sanford sits on the southern shore of Lake Monroe, and while it is technically part of the Orlando metro area, it feels like its own world. Retire here and you get the perks of being near a big city without the chaos of theme park traffic. Locals like to say they are close enough to borrow Orlando's fun, but far enough to sleep through the night. Daily life has a charming rhythm. The historic downtown is full of brick streets, cafes, and restaurants, and retirees stroll the waterfront or sit on benches watching boats glide in. Neighbors are friendly, and it is the sort of town where people start conversations out of nowhere. Retirees blend in quickly, whether it is joining a trivia night or just swapping garden tips. Affordability makes Sanford stand out. Homes are cheaper than in Orlando proper, and everyday costs do not feel like traps. Property taxes are reasonable enough that you will not need to start a side hustle. Healthcare is nearby, and Orlando's larger hospitals are just minutes away, so you get the best of both worlds. Nature is front and center. Lake Monroe offers fishing, boating, and views that make it hard to remember you are still near a major city. Parks and trails wind through the area, and retirees enjoy everything from morning walks along the water to spotting the occasional alligator sunbathing like it owns the dock. Beaches are within reach too, so a day in the sand is never far. Culture is lively for a city this size. Theaters, breweries, and regular festivals keep the calendar full. Retirees often end up at the farmer's market or outdoor concerts, and there is always some quirky local event happening. One week it might be craft beer tastings, the next week you find yourself cheering at a dog parade. It is casual fun and rarely dull. The only drawback? Sanford has a small airport, which means the occasional plane flying overhead. But unless you plan on birdwatching in total silence, it is hardly a deal breaker. With affordable homes, a historic downtown, and lakefront living, Sanford gives retirees the calm they want with just enough excitement to keep things interesting. 9. Apopka. Apopka is not usually the first city people think of, but retirees who know it treat it like a quiet little secret. Tucked northwest of Orlando, it is close enough that the grandkids can talk you into a theme park, yet far enough that you are not forced to listen to nightly firework finales. Evenings here sound more like crickets, the hum of ceiling fans, and the occasional splash from a neighbor's pool. Life runs on a friendly, unhurried beat. The city has suburban neighborhoods, plenty of oak trees for shade, and diners where the portions are so big you wonder if they mistook you for a family of 6. Retirees spend mornings lingering in cafes where debates about the best fishing spots get surprisingly heated, afternoons wandering parks, and evenings at community events where someone inevitably brings a banjo. Conversations start easily, and before long you feel like you have lived here for years. Affordability is a strong selling point. Homes are cheaper than in Orlando proper, so you can browse listings without needing a lottery ticket. Groceries and restaurants are reasonably priced, which means saying yes to dessert is an everyday choice instead of a guilty splurge. Healthcare is available in town, and Orlando's larger hospitals are a short drive away, so routine checkups and bigger needs are both covered. Nature is the real star. Wakiwa Springs State Park sits practically in Apopka's backyard, offering water that stays cool enough to make July bearable. Retirees float, swim, or just dangle their feet in the springs while quietly congratulating themselves for choosing better than the beach crowds. Trails wind through forests, and local lakes provide endless excuses to buy that fishing pole you always said you would use. Culture here is smaller but spirited. Community festivals, art fairs, and concerts pop up often. Retirees stumble into quirky events, like chili cook-offs where the judges look panicked halfway through, or dance nights where half the room enthusiastically forgets the steps. It is casual, fun, and keeps life interesting without exhausting you. The only drawback? Growth has added more traffic than you might expect for a suburban town. But when the trade-off is affordable homes, springs that feel like natural swimming pools, and a lifestyle that mixes calm with enough personality to keep you smiling, Apopka becomes one of Florida's best hidden retirement havens. 10. Largo. Largo sits in Pinellas County, tucked between Clearwater and St. Petersburg, but it somehow avoids the spotlight. That is good news for retirees because it means you get Gulf Coast living without quite as many crowds. Largo offers palm-lined streets, easy access to beaches, and neighborhoods that feel like real communities instead of just vacation rentals. It is the kind of city that sneaks up on you in the best way. Life here has a laid-back rhythm. Retirees spend mornings walking in Largo Central Park, afternoons running errands that never seem too stressful, and evenings eating at casual restaurants where the servers might remember your name after 2 visits. Locals are friendly without being overbearing, and there is a sense that people genuinely like living here. You get suburban comfort, but with enough buzz that you never feel isolated. Affordability is another plus. Homes are less expensive than in some of the more famous Gulf towns, and day-to-day costs do not sting as much as you might fear near the beach. Retirees like knowing they can splurge on fresh seafood dinners without a guilty conscience. Healthcare is close by too, with hospitals and clinics in town. Nature is a constant companion. Largo Central Park is packed with shady walking paths and a big pond where ducks provide free entertainment. The Gulf beaches are minutes away, which means sunsets that look like they were staged just for Instagram. And for those who prefer shade to sand, the Florida Botanical Gardens provide a quiet oasis where retirees wander and argue over which flower smells the best. Culture in Largo is small but lively. Retirees might find themselves at an outdoor movie night, or at a local art fair where someone is always convinced their seashell crafts should be in a museum. It is quirky, casual, and exactly the right pace for retirement life. The only drawback? Largo sits between two busier cities, so traffic can pile up at the wrong times. But with affordable homes, quick access to beaches, and sunsets that practically demand applause, retirees find that Largo hits the sweet spot between coastal beauty and everyday comfort. It is not flashy, but it quietly delivers the Florida retirement dream. So that is it. 10 more hidden Florida retirement havens most people never even think about. None of them have the chaos of Miami traffic or the price tags of Naples, but all of them have sunshine, character, and a pace of life that actually feels like retirement. Which one surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments. I love seeing where you imagine yourself living. And hey, please do me a favor and click that subscribe button. In return, here is a dolphin spinning. So click that subscribe button now so you will never miss a future update. Furthermore, it keeps me motivated and my wife calm. And everyone loves a calm wife. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video and take care.